Welcoming you to a life of awareness, the Presence Project is excited for you to join us for today's podcast with your host, Paul Kersner.
Hello and welcome to episode 76 of Are You Being Present? My name is Paul. I want to welcome you to the present moment. I want to welcome you to the here and now. And I want to thank you wholeheartedly, sincerely, and deeply for joining me in this amazing, precious, beautiful present moment. The title and topic for today's podcast is Calm Down in the Present Moment. And I decided to choose this specific topic because of how many stressors there are going on in everyone's life, how much tension there is internally and externally, and how telling someone to calm down is a common matrix societal statement that usually has the opposite effect. You get the antithetical result when you tell someone to calm down. More often than not only do they not calm down, it aggravates them. And so I wanted to dig into what being calm is, how we could be calm in the present moment, what present tools we might want to use, you might want to try to calm yourself. When I first start working with patients at the clinic and also with the people that I mentor, we enter into the first phase, which is observation. And I've talked about that quite often throughout the podcast series, is be the observer and what it means to observe your thoughts and how important it is and how it's the most important step. It's the first step towards being present is when you start watching the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions. It starts to build the gap between what those triggers are and reaction. And we talked also about reaction versus response. And that, I think, was a very helpful podcast to talk about the difference, the dichotomy between those two. So let's talk about what it means to be calm, or what calm is. And from my experience, being calm is being in a state of acceptance, of non-resistance, of being relaxed, being at peace. So there could be some subjectivity to what you experience as being calm, but I think there's a general overview, a general acceptance of what calm is. And so let's go with being in a state of relaxation, being relaxed, not being tense. And when we get to that point, it's good to understand what that feeling space is, but it's also important not to hold on to it too tightly, because we also understand that everything in life is temporary, and that's a beautiful thing. So when you're calm, enjoy it. It won't last. And when you're not calm, enjoy that. Maybe not enjoy it, but understand that not being calm also lends to your understanding of what being calm is, because we learn from duality. So how can you learn how to be calm in the present moment? What does it mean to be calm? What tools can we use to be calm? First and foremost, you have to understand that there are going to be some moments that you're going to encounter that are very triggering, and you're going to react based on the multiple things that are going on or coming at you at any given moment. So it might be difficult to be calm when you're confronted with a situation that is very stressful, but it's also very helpful to use tools that can help you become more calm when you're dealing with these kind of situations or environments. Now, I'm not trying to trivialize what's going on for you in any given present second, because it could be extremely stressful. It could be extremely traumatic. It's hard to say due to the variety of experiences that we're all having at any given second. But it's very important to zoom out enough so that we can get into a state of observation to see if we are calm. And that is the first step. So it takes almost like, it's important to kind of scan your body and watch your mind to see what's going on. When you scan your body, scan from head to toe to see what parts of your body are tense. If there's any tension, if there's any pain. And, there are obvious places where that exists. It's the shoulders, it's the back, even your jaw. Are you clenching your jaw? Can you drop your jaw? And we don't even realize that most of the time. And a lot of people grind their teeth at night, and really what's happening during the day is that their jaws are clenched, but they're detached from it because they're in survival mode, going through moment to moment. There's no criticism there, because when you're in the matrix, you don't know any better. You're in survival mode 24/7. Learning how to be calm is also a tool and a step towards awakening to what's going on in front of you and for you. So if we're being observant and we scan our bodies and we see where the tension is, we can use presence tools to calm ourselves down, to release the tension, the resistance, but also watching our mind, where our ego is. What thoughts are we having in that present moment, in that present second? Why is it creating an environment of tension? And what can we do to release and relax those thoughts, those memories, those feelings, so that we can get into a more calm state of being? Because I don't believe that any of us are calm all the time. There have been many instances when patients have shown up and asked me, they sat across from me in clinic and asked me, so you seem so calm. How are you so calm? And the truth is in that moment, I'm fully present with them, and it is a lot easier for me to remain calm in my clinic, in my office, in my space, because there's a lot of safety and security that's there for me. But it's also a good reflection point for my patients, the people I work with, to see and feel what I'm exuding. Because then the reflection point for them is that they're feeling the antithesis, and they want to understand how to get to that point, so that I could be the living example to say, you can feel like this, there's times to feel like this. It's not all the time possible, but we can work towards being calm more often than not. And that's really the rub there, is that this podcast is not to teach you how to be calm all the time. It's to explain to you what being calm feels like, and also to understand when you're not being calm. And that's a beautiful thing, because when we understand when we're not being calm, we can work our way towards being calm. And being calm in the present moment is a beautiful thing, because we have clarity. We're fully there. We're seeing things for what they are. We're seeing people for who they are, because we're in a calm state of being. We're not in a state of resistance. And we've talked about resistance and what resistance does. It's antithetical to acceptance, and acceptance is a vital presence key. And using acceptance can also lead you to getting to a place where you are more calm. But if you're not calm, it's important to kind of dig into maybe some of the things that you're resisting in any given moment and what they're doing to you and for you, because that will lead to a state of tension. Resistance always leads to tension, and it ends up in the body. The body is the final repository. That's where things end up. They usually don't start there. They start in the emotions and the thoughts, and then they make their way back to the body. So, and that's when the tension and the pain and the discomfort become so obvious to us that we can't ignore it anymore. The beauty of presence is that you can start observing the nuances of the things that are floating around in your mind or in your space, and you could work on them before they worm their way down to your physical body. And then it becomes more complicated, and there's more work to be done. It's not bad per se. It might seem or feel bad, but it's just another opportunity to do your presence work. So the question I ask you in this moment is, are you calm in this present moment? And it's important to sit with this question and to ask yourself this question: am I calm? What's going on with me? And if I'm not calm, why am I not calm? What thoughts am I holding on to? What am I resisting? What am I ruminating about? What am I worried about? Is it about the past? Is it about the future? What is my ego chattering about? What am I so scared of? What am I worried about? All those things will prevent you from being calm in the present moment. And I don't know about you, but I would prefer to be in a state of calm than anything else, because calm and neutrality are pretty synonymous. When you're neutral, and I've talked about this many times in the podcast, and I speak about this often in clinic, but being neutral is probably the best state of being to be in. Neutrality is great because you're just okay, and there's no duality when it comes to neutrality. When you're neutral, there's no opposite to neutral. And if you really think about it, that's a beautiful thing, because when you're happy, the opposite is sad. Light, dark, dry, wet. There's no duality to neutrality. And so being calm allows for neutrality, and being neutral allows for being calm. And so that would be a wonderful place for you to work towards and ask yourself, am I being neutral? So what are some of the tools that I use to calm myself? And of course, the first one that I use is always meditation and stillness. I like to sometimes get into a place that's very peaceful, quiet, whether that's my clinic, my house, whether that's nature, it doesn't matter, and just be. So I can get into a state of observation. So I can reduce the stimuli that might be stimulating me and taking me out of the present moment and affecting my level of calm. Guided meditations are a wonderful tool if you can't meditate or you're not able to take yourself out of a situation or a place. You can listen to a guided meditation, and there are millions of them on YouTube. And I play guided meditations for my patients oftentimes when I have them on the table and they get getting their acupuncture treatments. It's very helpful for those of us who think too much. It's antithetical to give someone an acupuncture treatment and then they just lay there and think. So the guided meditations are wonderful because they really distract, but they also assist in calming my patients down so that they can get the most out of their acupuncture treatments. But it's not just about acupuncture. This is about being calm and present in any given situation all throughout your life. Now, I don't suggest driving around listening to guided meditations. That would not be wise. But what I would suggest is maybe pulling over and listening to a guided meditation for a few minutes, maybe stepping outside, listening to a guided meditation. There's so many different resources and places that you can find these tools. I love binaural beats. I also play those for my patients, and I listen to them often. Binaural beats are music tracks that have certain frequencies that they play that calm the nervous system down. And speaking of the nervous system, that is really what we're honing in on, because a person who's engaged in the sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight, is definitely not going to be calm. The beauty of using these tools is that you help your body switch over to calm that nervous system down, to get to the rest and relax, the parasympathetic nervous system, so that you could be at peace, so you could be still. It might not last, but even just getting a few glimpses of peace, of calm, is a beautiful thing. Now, for those people who are religious, prayer is a wonderful presence tool. It's a tool that can help calm your mind, and it can help you emote and get some of these things out. You can talk it out, whatever it takes. But there are so many different presence tools that are helpful to help you become more calm. Of course, you can use affirmations, you can journal. I mean, the list goes on, and it's really the subjectivity of your own experience of which tools help you get back to the present moment and enter into that state of being calm. But really, just even asking yourself if you're calm is a great presence tool, is a great step, because that immediately gives you that reflection point to say, oh, I'm not calm, and then start doing your work to dig into that, to understand what's going on with you. That will potentially snap you out of survival mode and give you the reflection points you need to do the work that's being asked of you to calm and still yourself. Telling someone to be calm, telling yourself to be calm, it's not useful, it's not helpful. So I'm not telling you or asking you just be calm. What I'm leading you towards is the question to ask oneself, am I being calm? Am I calm? And then subsequently, okay, I'm not calm. What can I do to get to a state where I feel more calm or calmer? Being present is a wonderful thing because, of course, we get that perspective. And I always stress being observant, not critical, without judgment, to see if you lack a state of being calm. And of course, we want to make sure that our ego isn't there, like chirping in, making us feel bad about not being calm. No, that's not what we want to do at all. We don't want to let our ego use it against us, because our ego is not going to help us get to a place where we are calm. In fact, our ego thrives when we're not calm. And so you might want to also look at what's my ego doing to me, so that I'm in a state of resistance or whatever it is, and that I lack that state of being calm. Now, there are wonderful external tools to use and places to go, but we always want to work internally, because our internal environment is a direct reflection of our external environment. And I understand that there are people going through some really tough times that are experiencing hardships, whether at the hands of others or their own minds, their own egos. And so it's not useful for me to tell you, just be calm at all. The point of this podcast was to help give you a perspective, an objective, some tools to understand that that state of being calm is within your grasp. And it's a worthy endeavor to use these tools, to think about my words, to create a practice for yourself so that you could be calm more often than not. Not to try to be calm all the time, but to enjoy the moments of being calm and what that means to you. So I hope this podcast was helpful. And of course, I suggest listening to all the podcasts before this because they all build upon themselves and I touch upon a lot of different topics. And I want to thank you so very much for sharing all these present seconds with me. I hope they're as useful to you as they are to me. And I wish you all nothing but peace.
Thank you for listening to the Are You Being Present podcast, brought to you by the Presence Projects. Remember, you have a choice. Choose to be present.